I don't know about a lot of you guys, but I know I certainly enjoy listening to music. It's personally one of my favorite pastimes to do when I'm bored or when I'm playing video games or when I'm, waiting for these fucking videos on YouTube to upload and so on. It's one of my favorite pastimes. And I have a vast array of music that, this may seem rookie to some, but almost has about 1,000 songs in his catalog on his iPod or whatever. But all I can say is I love music. I'm very picky about what I listen to, but I love it. Now, I've talked about, musical topics on the channel. Haven't done so all that much lately. I think the last one I'd done was how fucking stupid the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame actually is. And a couple maybe rants or so before that. But here's a topic that's quite interesting to some, and I want to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Does the perfect album exist? That's a hard one. I don't think there are, and I want you all to be very, critical when you think about this topic, because some people will say, oh yeah man, so-and-so's album that he just released a couple months ago is a perfect album. I mean, no, give me a break. Come on. Like, there's no way a lot of albums today, just because they released and you're looking at it through rose-colored glasses, that they're perfect. Now, what constitutes a perfect album? It would be a better question. So, to some, and I saw this on Facebook, which is why I'm bringing this up, name an album in any genre that you think is 100% perfect, or you can't skip one track, or you don't skip one track, excuse me. Then you kind of narrow it down. What's an album I love so much that I think is perfect where I don't skip one track? Well, it makes it a little easier. So for me, and if we're talking about that, Back in Black, whether you like it or not, is a fucking perfect album. I mean, it's one of the most successful rock and roll albums of all time, if not one of the most successful albums regarding. It doesn't matter what genre it's a part of. Back in Black is part of that discussion, period, bar none. And then some of my personal favorites where I don't skip a track is Fortress by Alter Bridge. I mean, to me, Fortress is by far one of the best albums of all time. Not just from Alter Bridge, but just in general. It's just a solid album. It's so good, and I loved what Alter Bridge did with that album. They kind of turned their sound a little bit, the album prior, to a little bit more of a darker tone. And this album just is another example of that, and it was just so good. If you don't listen to rock or metal, but you're interested in checking this out, by all means check out this album. It's a really good album. In terms of hip hop, I mean, let's be honest, Ready to Die, Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G. How many hits are on that fucking album? A lot of hits. There's a lot of hits on that album. It's just so good. Rest in peace, Biggie. Have a Nice Day, Bon Jovi. Now, this album is probably one of those albums where I look at with rose-colored glasses just because it was the first CD I ever bought, and it was really the first album I ever listened to in full. It's just a great fucking album, dude. It's just so good. I can't skip one track on that. Doesn't mean all people can't skip one track. I would completely understand in your case, but for me, Have a Nice Day to me is a perfect album if we're going by these measures. And I have to throw this in there. Some people are going to hate my guts for it, but I won't really ever understand. Nickelback. Actually, this one has 2 albums. All the Right Reasons, which to me is the best album they ever made. And Dark Horse, which is the second best. Because Dark Horse was so fucking good. It was such a good album. And All the Right Reasons, no matter how much you want to meme Photograph and some other songs, All the Right Reasons is fucking fantastic. Again, so many hits came off those 2 albums. Really great. But there's also another way of measuring what the perfect album is to some, or to others. And I heard about a podcast about this. I didn't actually hear the podcast itself, which is a little bit crazy. But Chris Jericho's podcast, Talk is Jericho, a long time ago, did a talk about this sort of deal. about what the perfect album was. And by their ranking of it, every song on the album itself has to be like an A minus or like an A or higher. I believe it was A minus. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Although I would think if it anything above it, anything like an A minus to an A plus is either way a good no matter what. So to me, if we're going by that, judgment, that negates a lot of the shit I just said. You know, because, you know, not being able to skip one song is one thing. You know, I can do that pretty easily. But having to determine, you know, what song is an A minus and higher, that's bonkers. That's insane. So, and I'm no musical genius. I'm no musician. So I don't really know what goes into actually making the music itself. So I can, as a fan of music, and I can only look at this from the outside looking in, I can tell you right now, Back in Black, regardless, is still going to be a perfect album. Fortress by Alter Bridge, is Bleed It Dry really an A minus song? I don't know. I think it's more of a B plus. So by my ranking, it negates what I said earlier. I don't know. Bleed It Dry was by far my least favorite song on the album, even though I loved every single song on Fortress. But Bleed It Dry was one of the ones I was really iffy about when I first heard it the first time, as well as Lover. You know, Lover was not that it was bad. It was just like, ooh, I don't know if this is a A minus song or not when I think about it, because it's very slow. It's very, I don't want to say monotone, but it has like that sort of like a one-tone thing going on until the chorus happens. It's, you know, it depends on who you ask. Ready to Die, again, how many fucking hits are on that album? You can't even tell me that this is even a perfect album. Hell, even Tupac probably had some albums too, but I don't really listen to Tupac's entire albums. I listen to more of like the good, like his hits and shit, so I can't really say much for Tupac, although if you think there's a Tupac album that's perfect, by all means, put it down in the comment section. Have a Nice Day. Oof, that's tough. I don't really know if I Am is an A minus song. I also don't really know if Bells of Freedom is an A minus song. God, that's tough. Even Novocaine. Novocaine's probably like a B minus, if anything. But it's hard. And again, you have to listen to the albums extensively, like I have, to understand what I'm talking about. But I'm giving you guys this discussion to see like where you stand on some of your favorite albums of all time. And hell, odds are, with the way society is nowadays, people don't even bother to listen to entire albums a lot of the time, unless it's like some artist that just died, like that XXX Tentacion guy that died a couple of years ago, and then most recently Juice WRLD was another one. Again, all the right reasons, and Dark Horse on my list of albums from the original point I was trying to make. Oof, that's tough. Somebody That You're With is definitely a B minus song. That's a tough one, man. That's really a tough one. Fight for All the Wrong Reasons, probably B plus. Who knows? On the Dark Horse album, Just to Get High, B song at best. And Shaking Hands, probably a B plus if we're being honest. So at least if I'm being honest. So I don't know, man. So if we base off that logic of every song has to be an A minus or higher, it's tough. It becomes a lot tougher in that discussion. There are albums out there that people think are perfect that I don't think that are perfect. Some people argue that Alice in Chains' second album ever, Dirt, is a perfect album. But then if we're going by, you know, if we're going by, you know, I can't skip a song on the album, then I understand that point. However, is Godsmack really an A minus song? It's really not. Godsmack's not that great. Dirt isn't that great either. Junkhead is debatable. Rain When I Die, debatable. God, there was another one. Hate to Feel, definitely like a B minus. That's just me. So there's a lot of ways you can classify what the perfect album is, and again, it's really difficult discussion to have because a lot of people look at their favorite, albums with rose-colored glasses. Like I said, Have a Nice Day I may consider different than other albums because it was the first CD I ever bought, ever. Way back in like 2005, 2006. So it's hard for me to hate that album on certain eras, labels of judgment, but if we're going by one ranking and not the other, it's definitely not the perfect album. It's really hard. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the description below. I plan on doing a lot more music discussions in the very near future here on the channel, which I hope you guys will support. If you've been following me on social media, you'll know what I'm talking about. That project I have coming up should be coming up relatively soon, probably in the next month or two. So with that being said, thank you guys for joining me, and have a nice day. Peace out, and follow me and my friends and all the social media stuff you see down in the description. See you guys soon.